Welcome back to another video. I realised earlier on today that I never actually gave my opinion on everything that's happened since the VAR audio was released about 4 or 5 days ago. It was on the 3rd, I believe, so 3 days ago. I never actually gave my opinion on it. So I went over how I felt about VAR the day after the Tottenham game, gave my full view on that, how I discredited VAR, my opinion on all the officials, everything that went on with regards to that match, Liverpool and Tottenham, how Liverpool were robbed of a goal, Luis Diaz's brilliant goal taken away because of offside, the controversial red cards, all the whirlwind of torment that's gone on afterwards, and a lot's gone on since then. So I'm just going to give my thoughts on it and go through piece by piece what I think of each part. So what's important to remember first off is my opinion has not changed. I've not changed my view on how I think VAR is operated in the Premier League. I also don't think that the officials are up to the standard of, say, the Champions League or any of the other sort of domestic leagues where you don't hear about stuff like this. Maybe that's just because we're not in that country. Maybe we don't get a view of it. I'm not sure. But from what I understand, the automated system in the Champions League works a lot better than the Premier League's, and clearly the results are showing. We saw at Newcastle against PSG's goal given by a millimetre because of the automated system. And this video is just to go over my thoughts of everything past the Tottenham game, not the incidents that occurred during it. So, following that game, Liverpool demanded that the audio from the VAR camp be released. This took about a day or two to actually come to fruition, and we got what we wanted, and the results blew the internet up, putting it lightly. Pundits, fans, football analysts, coaches, referees, players, everyone came out and said that the VAR system, the way it was handled for that match, was a joke, and it absolutely was. You listen to the assistant referee, you listen to the linesman, the chief of VAR operations, everyone, no one has a clue of what is going on during the game. You can hear one person saying, "Oh, it's on, it's fine." Then the whistle blows. There's a panic. There's a moment of pause where they're saying, "Well, play is carried on. Stop it. Delay, delay, delay." Nothing happens. The game doesn't stop. Nothing goes on. The passage of play has passed, and there's a lot of swearing involved. They get into a stress, and clearly no one wanted to own up. No one wanted to take responsibility for what had actually happened in that moment. Everyone was just happy to sort of pass the blame to each other and go, "Oh, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. Things have happened. It is what it is. We have to move on." Liverpool didn't like that. So then, after the audio comes out, a lot of talk in the back, and KLOPP is on a pre-match press conference the next day for the Union SG game. KLOPP comes out and makes the statement, "The match should be replayed." And this is where things differ and divide a lot of fans. Up until this point, Liverpool had everyone's, not sympathy, I think that's the wrong word, but everyone agreed. Everyone agreed that Liverpool had been robbed. Everyone agreed that we should have had a goal, and the game could have gone in a completely different direction, and it could have repercussions leading towards the end of the season. And KLOPP himself has said that this was a pivotal moment in the season so early on. Asking for a replay, though, is the wrong decision. Now, while I agree that we were robbed, and while I agree that we should have had the goal and the game should have gone the normal route, we shouldn't have maybe had the red cards. Asking for a replay opens up a can of worms. You invite a lot of other controversy in. If we were to say we want to replay for this game, who's to say that Man City don't come back from when we beat them 3, 4 seasons ago and they say, "Well, the ball ricocheted off a Trent's hand, Fabinho went at the other end and scored. We want that match replayed." Cucurella, the Chelsea team, could come out and say, "Well, Cucurella got his hair pulled. That prevented us from winning that game. We want the game replayed." Arsenal, the Brentford game last season, should have had the goal. We want it replayed. Tottenham, the Champions League final, we want it replayed. Ireland could come out and say Thierry Henry handballed it. We want it replayed. If we then get our replay, it won't happen. It shouldn't happen. I'm against it. But if we were to get that replay, then the PGMOL can no longer turn around to anyone and say, "No, no replays. It doesn't work that way," because you've given us one. You can't then deny everyone else who's had wrongdoing done to them. because it's not fair. It's unfairness. And yes, we were cheated, and yes, we were robbed. But that doesn't mean that we're the only team that it's happened to. It's happened to every team in the VAR system. Newcastle, Sheffield United, a few seasons ago, there was the issue where John Joe continued play because the offside flag had gone up, but VAR deemed it onside, and he scored. Sheffield could have appealed against that. Every club has a reason for wanting to appeal against VAR. Just because we've had wrongdoing done to us doesn't mean we're exempt from the rule and replays should be given out. It was a mistake, but the appropriate people have been punished. The VAR panel or the people who are operating it have been banned for now. Similar to the Onana situation. Onana nearly clotheslined someone's head off and they are removed. The VAR and the panel are removed for the next game. Their ban should be longer and it should be permanent, in my opinion. However, getting a replay is not the result that we Liverpool fans want. We just want the people involved to face consequences. So stuff like this does not happen anymore. Another important thing to remember is the Jota red card. Now, this was wrongfully given, and that's coming from the Premier League Independent Key Match Incidents Panel, which is an independent collaboration of former players, coaches, and one representative from each Premier League club and the PGMOL. Now, they've released a statement saying that what Jota did for the first yellow card, not the second, was not worthy of a yellow card. He should not have been sent off. This has been addressed. Will his ban be overturned? Because of all this, I assume so. At the time, it definitely did seem like the right course. He did not seem like he deserved the red, and this has withstood. So that's a victory for us. Curtis Jones, however, his red card has stuck. Liverpool appealed against it. We put in the correct foot terms and papers, similar to the way we did with the McAllister incident, and it didn't work. Jones's red card stuck. And I'm going to go against what I said, looking back on it, and it may be because the red card wasn't overturned. It does look bad. I understand that he's gone for the ball and his foot slipped over. That happens. But if he breaks the Basuma's leg, regardless of whether he's meant to or not, it looks violent. The way he stood up, he's gone for the ball, but how many players have gone for the ball in the past and resulted in red card injuries? No one's deliberately trying to take out the player. Obviously, people go for the ball, miss, studs up, hit the leg. We've seen it in the past, and it's one of those things. At the time, I definitely saw the why has he been sent off side of it, but looking back, I can accept that one. I think that's the one instant which I'm willing to sort of change my mind on. What I can't get behind is the replay system. I just think now we had the support of everyone, and now the more we keep going on and on and on about it, the more people are turning, and the narrative is shifting to this woe is Liverpool. They think the world's against them, they think everyone's out to get them. And we don't want that. That's not what we want. We want people to just recognize now more than ever that there's fault in the system. VAR is a good system, but the people operating it are not. They can write their own narratives and change it. And this was the first step into making sure that this does not happen in the future to prevent things like this from happening. Put yourselves into the perspectives of, say, a club like Everton. Now, Everton are in a lot of financial struggles at the moment. They've just had investment, yes, from 777, but they have a new stadium coming. They are in financial debt from Farhad Mashiri still. If they were to get relegated by a point, and that point goes back to an incident which happened earlier on in the season with VAR and the PGMOL, that would have ramifications that could lead to bankrupt and going into this. What happened to us is not for us, it's for everyone. It's what we think should the league should be treated like. Everyone deserves fair officiating, whether it's an automated system, whether it's new officials operating the technology, it doesn't matter. We are not doing this for the woe is us, pity us, we are Liverpool, the world's against us. We are doing this because we want everyone to receive equal treatment in this league. And the officiating is causing issues with that. As I've said, I do not agree with the replay option. The replay should not happen, nor should it happen in the future. When you start doing that, you're essentially inviting so much pressure in that everyone is going to demand at least 5 replays a season. Even if they brought a rule in which said we want 1 replay, imagine you're a team like, let's say Luton. Let's say Luton beat Man City 1-0, and it's because of a controversial decision. You're then going to go back and replay that game, and odds are City are going to thrash Luton 6-7-0 or something daft like that. You're robbing those fans of an experience, a win, something in their lives they've never seen, or some of them couldn't even dream of. And you're going to go back and replay it. It doesn't. It, it's not the way it should be. And yes, while I'm peeved that we suffered the loss, and yes, while I'm peeved that we didn't win the game, I made that very clear. But a replay does not do anything, because that says to me that the officials can make the same mistakes over and over again, and they can just go, well, what difference does it make? The game's just going to get replayed. It's not how it should be. It's not how it should be operated. And there definitely needs to be a full stop on this now. The match is done. Like Klopp said today, we're big boys. We've moved past it. Everyone else now move past. Let the officials hand out justice the way they see fit, and we move on from it. Thank you very much for watching. A bit of a ranty one, just a bit of an update. Please subscribe. Thank you.